What up? What up? What up? It's Ibn Webb, Ib Webb, Quran the Sum. Got another one of these official thanks situations going down here. Essex County All Day Edition. Very, very proud of this individual who's about to jump on. Crazy. Never actually even met him till we get on the call, but just knowing a little bit about his background, where you come from, Orange, where I'm from, just seeing what he's done and what his life is has been great. Just love to hear his story a little bit more. Hopefully, you guys do too. About to just put Cory board on, and we're gonna get to it. Nice to meet you. Good to meet you, man. Like I said, I'm Ibn. I know we talked over the phone for a hot minute there recently, but yeah, I'm Ibn, another Orange native. I see the orange jersey in the back, so now didn't even get started. I'm getting a little sentimental just seeing the tornado in the back there. So no, that's
Listen,
cool, man.
room. The room got nothing but tornado jerseys, man.
Look at you, man. Look at you stealing
I
stuff.
represent. I represent my city, man. I love
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Coach is not turning around to snatch a jersey too.
them.
Yeah, yeah, nah. But thanks for taking time out. Definitely, just to chop it up and kick it with me for a little bit, man. And I obviously the premise of what I've been doing here, and like I said, it's just been great. And to have you on here, like I said, though younger than me, like I said, I shared this with a lot of people that I've done this with. Like I get a little fanned out sometimes because you hear about people, you hear their stories, the accolades, everything they've done on the field and everything. So just to connect with you and link up with you, man. Like I said, I'm totally taken back. So I really appreciate it.
Brother, it's a blessing. Same way, man. Just even have someone like yourself doing something like this. I told you before, man. It's well needed, and they got the right man for it, brother. So God bless you along this journey, man.
Thank you, man. And speaking of journeys, man, that zip code, that 07050, man, is that where it all started from?
Yeah, definitely. One away projects.
Okay.
Uh, you know, it even actually started at 325 Mechanic Street.
Oh, on Mechanic Street. Okay.
Yeah, I had both sides of the equation, man. So I am orange. I am orange through and through. Central Ave, Valley,
Hmm.
Park Ave,
Yeah.
Bradford area. Oh man, yeah. I spent a fair good amount of my time through all the corners of the city, man.
Nah, definitely, man. I'm over in I grew up over in Dodgetown. So that's where I
Okay.
grew up at. Yeah, I'm over that way in the complex there. Yeah, so I'm familiar with everything you talking about there, man. So just running around, whether it was McCann Street, Wilson Place, whatever, Orange Park, whatever. How this love for sports, man? I mean, how you get started with you, man? Just was it just something that you innate in you, or was it just something you just grew to love? Like how did it
Man,
go down?
listen, it's in my blood, man. I come from a family of nothing but athletes. My mother was
Hmm.
an athlete. My uncles were athletes. I think even my dad was an athlete at one point in his life. But growing up with the pressures of having an uncle that was like Michael Jordan, like Michael Jordan of the town, and having another uncle who was like a Scottie Pippen.
Right.
Those two were like a 1-2 punch. And then growing up around, their friends as being uncles, I was able to have a lot of pressure on me from the basketball side. But then, I had my mother who was the first female all-time leading scorer, for basketball. And, that was a lot to carry on, man, and
Yeah.
try to step in the shoes of those individuals. But then, I paved my own way, with, deciding to play football. I always had a little attitude problem growing up. And, one of my mentors, rest in peace, Willie Graves, he really helped me channel that energy into an activity, that gave me discipline, that gave me leadership, that gave me so many, qualities about a man that I needed as a youngster, so that I could, do the things that I was able to do. So, that was how I really started the journey, was just watching my uncles, watching, their friends, my mom, and, also, watching Willie Graves and a couple of others that, paved the way, so that I could do what I did. that's how it all started, man.
Yeah, nah. Good stuff, man. So were we playing tackle on the pavement? We dodging cars? What we doing, man?
Oh man, we love the game free for all.
Yeah,
That's when
yeah.
you
Just
know
talk.
you throw that ball up, whoever get it, you gotta make however many kids out there, 20, 30 kids playing, fighting for one ball, and you gotta go score, man. I believe my first time I recognized like football was for me and I could do it was on 325 Mechanic Street, right in that little D circle area. Uh, it was a little bit of grass, right there across the street from the little Chinese store.
Hmm.
So all the little, big time drug dealers was out there. Your parents were out there, and I was about what 7 or 8, and I wasn't able to like get to play rec ball at that time. Coach Shampoo wouldn't allow me to. He said I was just too small.
Hmm.
And he told me to go back home, work on it, and when I get of age, I could come and do something. But we used to always play football in this one little D circle area. And one day I was playing with 13-year-olds and the Robert Skippers and all of those guys. Jamal Coon. I thought I was one of those guys. And at that time, those guys. They taught you the hard way of how to play a game. They just threw you in there. If
Hmm.
you was playing with them, you had to take the hits that they took.
Yeah.
You got to tackle the same guys. And if you couldn't, they'll tell you to sit your little self on the side. But I remember one day, man, we weren't even playing with a football. We were playing with a juice carton, an empty juice carton that we stuffed with some newspapers. And somebody threw it up in the air, but nobody wanted to catch it when it was in the air. So I'm the littlest one. I'm at the bottom of the pile. It dropped right into my hands, and like how cartoons were, man, the boys all jumped on me. And in the middle of all of them jumping on me, it was a big pile, and everybody, oh, get off of him. He's a little boy. Get off of him. My little self found a little hole between somebody's legs, shot through and scored a touchdown. All the little, the players on the corner and
Yeah.
the things and everything. Oh, that's Rashida's son. So that kind of, jump started my little football career and helping me, do the things that I was able to do in football.
Nah. That's good stuff, man. I know you mentioned eventually you wound up. Did you wind up playing like little league or what have you, or you?
Yeah. The great part about it back then, we had, coaches that were not just coaches, man. They were like fathers, and Coach Shampoo, rest in peace, him and his brother, Coach Whitey, they used to take us to all the high school games. I'm 5, 6 years old, going to high school games, watching the Terrell Willis, and watching, the guys that came before me, studying their habits, hearing the stories. So, I'm looking at it like, hey, I want to be around my coach all the time. So my coach used to, take me to a lot of, football games, may have been high school, may have been other Pop Oneers. And he was just showing me that, whenever your time comes, you got to mentally be ready. And I respected him at a young age for that. And he did that for a lot of other young kids in the community to keep us off the streets, man. And when he did that, it showed me that football, skies was the limit for me in that, man. Skies was the limit for me. So, I had tipped my hat off to Coach Shampoo and the things that he installed into me at the ages of 5, 6. And
Yeah.
then, I wasn't able to start playing football until I was 9. But he actually, when I was around about to turn 8 years old, he made an exception for me because he was like, man, you've been around me. He saw that I was emulating my cousin, Willie Graves. So he knew I was getting coached up at home, and I got a little bigger as I was, at that age. But, he took a chance with me. I wasn't really on the field as much. but I watched us go to a championship, and we actually went to Virginia. And I actually got one of them the plaques up here on the wall somewhere. Yeah, it's up here somewhere. But we went to Virginia. I think it's this one right here. We had went to Virginia. And I think it was 1994, 1994. That's what it says. We won the Pop Warner Championship, and I was able to get in for a play.
That
Coach
probably meant the
Shampour,
world to you too.
yeah, it was an amazing feeling, man. You know, it was just like that same feeling of being in at Mechanic Street, everybody jumping on you, and you finally get that notoriety from doing something good. You know, I was able to score an extra point out there in the championship game, and you know, skies was the limit from there.
Yeah, even during that time, man, when you wasn't running around playing football, what have you, man, what was you doing with yourself?
I was I'm gonna be honest, man. I was an asshole.
Okay.
I was an asshole. I was really an asshole. I was really running through the streets trying to be something that I wasn't, trying to, you know, get attention, you know, and any attention mattered, good, bad, or different. But yeah, I was in the city tearing the city up, man. I ain't gonna lie to you. I was a horrible youth. I really was.
Nah, I hear you, man. I know sometimes too, even with athletics, man, it damn near balances it out though. You know what I mean? It kind of give you some structure, obviously having to go to practice. Even at a young age, sound like you got to it real young, playing football and everything. So that did provide some sort of structure in your life, even though you was tearing the streets up or you was out and about there. You know, I know eventually you gotta make it to high school, man. And I know obviously your buzz was probably buzzing before you even walked into that high school there, whether it was outside of sports or sports. But I'm gonna play the sports part real quick. So freshman year, you get there. You remember your first freshman game?
I mean, which one? We talking about football or basketball? Because I played both as a freshman.
You play varsity basketball as well too? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, see, I didn't know that. I didn't know. But how about let's go with both. Let's start with basketball first. How was that? You got called up right from the beginning, or you had to do the freshman?
No, I knew all my coaches from when I was in middle school. Coach D and Coach Martin already told me, when you come to high school, there is no freshman ball for you because there's no competition there.
Okay.
You got to play JV, and you'll suit up for varsity here and there. I'm like, with me and my competitive spirit and, you know, the buzz that I felt about myself, I'm around that Allen Iverson age group where you can't tell nothing. I'm nice.
Yeah.
I go into freshman year coming off a football season that I played freshman, you know, varsity. I mean, I played varsity as a freshman, and you know, I'm feeling like I deserve to be on varsity basketball. But we had some hitters out there, man. We had some folks that I'm like, okay, I got to give it some time. But I knew that in my heart, I should have been on varsity.
Okay.
So I think it was the first couple of games that we had before the Christmas tournament that we normally had in East Orange.
Okay.
That was the last year of Scott. Scott had their last year of basketball that year.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the last year that they had their football team before they joined with and made the campus, East Orange campus. So we had a pretty good team until we got to the Christmas tournament.
Okay.
I'm still on JV. Christmas tournament, you know, Coach Martin was saying that they was looking to do some changes, and we needed a point guard that could command and take leadership from, from him, and then give it to the guys. So I heard it. He was blowing my head up. The game that we played, I think it was the championship or the game before the championship in the tournament. We had Scott. They beat the brakes off of us.
Yeah.
Point where Martin was like, you know what? We had, I think it was practice over the little Christmas break, and he was like, listen, he pulled up to my house It was like a movie. He pulled up to my house, had a nice gym bag with my number 3 jersey in there. He had about 2 pair of sneakers in there for me. He had everything that a basketball player needed. He was like, man, listen, we pulling you up to varsity. We want you to be our starting point guard. He said, man, you could do whatever, just be a leader. And man, that freshman year, I don't know how much I averaged. I think I averaged between 18, 19 points as a freshman.
Okay.
Come down the court. I had to make sure that my guys understood, hey, we good. Because we all played ball with each other anyway.
Right, so you know each other, yeah.
Yeah, through the park leagues. It was just now, the buzz was catching up with the person. You know what I mean? So now everybody, oh, we saw what we could do for football. Let's see what we could do for basketball. Now that freshman year was my easiest year, because I could just go out there. My coach already gave me the green light to be a leader. I could shoot whenever I wanted to. I'm watching Allen Iverson. Like I said, I'm trying to praise. You couldn't tell me nothing that year, and that year, like I said, I, surprised a lot of people with, the performance that I was, able to do. But, they didn't know I had pressure. I didn't even really want to play basketball.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't want to live up to Mike Elevator Boyd shoes. I didn't want to live up to Crystal Rashida Boyd shoes. I didn't want to do that in basketball. And nobody taught me how to play basketball neither. That's the thing that a lot of people don't know is that, coming from this athletic family, man, not taking anything away from my elders, I love them, and they'll tell you to this day too, they never taught me how to play a sport, a lick of it. Because of my attitude, I was tough to deal with, and I respect Martin, Coach Martin, for, allowing me to just be that kid, and then he built, a friendship with me, even, him being an adult and me being a student. He met me right where I was at. He knew what I needed. And as long as he kept me happy, we kept winning. Mm-hmm. And it was, easy for us to bounce that relationship off.
Yeah. Nah, definitely. I mean, that coach-player relationship, I don't care what year you in, it's so important. And you being the guard too. Absolutely. And that's crazy, like you said. I mean, it's just God-given, man, as far as even that basketball talent sound like I said, it's just God-given, like you say. It sound like you didn't even work on it, but like I said, somebody above, man, like blessed you. Totally blessed you, man. And I know I kind of going to reverse it. It's the football thing. I mean, as far as even freshman year, you just knew you knew that was no way you was playing nothing else but varsity walking in.
No, when I played rec ball, just to push it back a little bit, it was me, my homies, each one of them that I got their jerseys, Marquise, Amir, Daryl Sims. Those guys we called ourselves PWC. That was Pop Warner Connection, because when we were in Pop Warner together, Daryl was my quarterback, Marquise was my wide receiver / tight end, Amir was running back with me. Mm-hmm. So we worked out on the summers a lot. We grew up with each other, and in our 7th and 8th grade year, Coach D gave us the workout plan and was like, listen, I don't see, like I said, ain't no freshman ball for you. Mm-hmm. So that meant, when I heard him say no freshman ball for me, that meant no freshman ball for PWC. That meant, listen, we all going in, we going to all play together, we going to all go to varsity or JV, whatever he want, but we got to be ready. Mm-hmm. So in my 7th, 8th grade year, that's when my growth spurt started coming. That's when I'm starting to gain weight. I'm hitting the weight room. And like I said, I was really getting ready for, that big boy ball. That's when we had Jay Green, who went to Minnesota. Mm-hmm. We had, oh my God, we had so many people. We had Bree Jones at the quarterback spot, shutting it down. We had Calfani out there at the wide receiver spot. We had Akil Bukar. It was the greatest show on turf. Mm-hmm. And for me, I'm like, all right, I know I want to come in here and play running back, but, then you had Brad Gaskins and William Widener, and you had all of these guys ahead of me. So I'm like, man, I ain't gonna be able to get no playing time up there, man. But again, Coach D trusted that I followed the process. And that summer he came to me, it was like, listen, I'm not gonna start you off on varsity. I want to see what you do on JV, but you can't play freshman. But the bad part about it was the rest of my guys had to go play freshman.
Okay.
And I end up playing JV. And, JV normally play on Mondays.
Mondays, right.
They play on Mondays. So I had to watch the freshmen play. They got off, but, they ain't had a lead out there. They ain't had a general out there, man.
Okay.
We had a rough little freshman year. So I think Scott beat us. And,
that ain't supposed to happen, right?
Yeah, a couple things happened. So then, now I'm playing on JVs on Mondays. So I got to watch Fridays, the varsity play, Saturdays, the freshmen play. And then I had to wait all the way until Monday. So, I'm hot, I'm fired.
Oh yeah.
Every play, Coach D and them was calling toss left, toss right. Just ignorant style football, Pop Warner style football.
Mm-hmm.
And man, when I tell you, it was no competition at that level, and at that point, Coach D was like, listen, he gave me about 2 games to play on JV. And I think somebody got hurt. He made a switch and I think that year he put, I think he was playing around with the running back spot because he had Steve at running back. He had Brad at running back. He was just Javon Bolcom at running back. He was just trying any and everybody at running back, but they were big body guys. My freshman year, I was about 155, 6'6". I ended up getting to 6 foot. So now I'm 6 foot, 150, 155, 165, soaking wet. You know what I mean? But I got a lot of dog in me. So, put me out there in the running back spot at varsity. Ooh, that was a risky move for him. So he instead of putting me in the backfield, he ended up putting me at the slot.
Okay.
Man, my first game in a varsity uniform, I ended up having 5 touchdowns in one game. I had two pick six, and I think I had the other ones were a fumble recovery for a touchdown, and the other 2 were out route, 5-yard out route spank.
Yeah, who'd y'all play? You remember?
I wish I could tell you. I want to say it was West Orange. I want to say it was West Orange because I did a lot of good work to them. A lot of good work to them because they love to be the best out of the oranges.
All that stuff. Yeah. So wow, that's sick, man. So you get going. All right, basically you get rocking and rolling for the most part, right out the gate once soon as you play varsity here, man. So where it go from there, man? I mean, again, obviously he's playing slot, sound like it. Then when did you jump over to running back? Was it the following sophomore year or?
Sophomore year, nah, I was still at the slot spot because we still had some ballers, and I was still pretty much trying to still figure my way out a little bit with it because that was my first time ever being thrown into a wide receiver spot like that, but I did so well with it to the point where it was like, if I remove myself from that position to just go back and being a running back, I would be basically taking up somebody's spot that we could have really used, like one of my PWC guys to move up. So, my sophomore year, it was a transition stage for me, man, where Coach D was playing me a little bit in the backfield, a little bit at the slot, but a lot of my impact came on the defensive side of the ball. Okay. So, because like I said, we had the greatest show on turf, man. When you got a Bree Jones out there dropping back and you lifting coverage with them receivers, man, it was really like one-on-one. He could have threw the ball if he wanted to with the speed on the outside that we had, but he could have gave the ball as a draw to our running backs. We could have dipped and dunked folks with the short game, but he had an all-around game, man. To me, he was like the Michael Vick before I realized who Michael Vick really was,
Okay, yeah, no, that's what's up, man. So team success obviously was there, and ultimately that's the most important thing. You guys winning and just playing and just enjoying playing with each other, man. How'd you guys do? I kind of, just my memory get a little blurred in regards to you guys like wins and everything. Did y'all win the states
Man,
during your time there? Like,
man, what you mean? Did your mind get blurred? We the best team on that next year is the
okay.
greatest year. My junior year is the greatest football program that Orange, New Jersey has ever seen.
I mean, y'all won the states, and what was y'all record? What y'all
No,
won
we
the?
ain't win. We didn't win the states. Let me
Okay,
not fool folks.
okay,
We were the
okay,
only team to ever go to the state championship, and we lost.
okay.
Yeah, we lost. That was a heartbreaker, man.
I had to be.
But
Who'd y'all lose to?
man, who was it? I don't even know. I got that. It was Mount Olive or I don't even know, because I get my last year in that year so messed up because
Okay.
we should have 2 state championships for Orange High School right now. For the type of talent that Coach D put out on that field, man, that was a spectacular year. That was the year we had a very talented unit, and we fell short. We fell short in that championship game. It was a rough one. It was a close game, though. It was a low-scoring game. I think the score was about, I hate trying to remember numbers. I think it was like 17 or 10 to like 7 or something like that, or 3.
Okay.
But we ain't do too well. But that road getting there, yeah, it was a beautiful year, man. It was a beautiful.
Yeah. I can only imagine. I had the city jumping, man. I could only
Oh yeah,
imagine, man.
yeah. The greatest show, like I say, the greatest show on turf on Friday nights was at Bell Stadium. I know we had Shabazz and all of these other schools, Montclair's, but people knew when you had to step on Friday nights, you wanted to step in Bell Stadium up under them lights on Bell Street.
Yeah.
You knew it was a show to watch. Even though we only had one side of a stand, you would have felt as though you had about 10,000 out there, from the folks lined up to the back where a school used to be, where the house used to be in the back of the touchdown. You had folks coming around the building, the people who lived in the houses on the other side where the stand should be.
Yeah.
They out there watching the games in their windows, man. I don't think Orange High football has ever been like that and will ever go back to that. That was the last of bringing the cities out to our game.
Got you. Yeah. And even you had some decisions to make. Obviously, that's your junior year, senior year. Even with basketball, do you eventually give it up and just play football, or you do both?
Man, I had a whole bunch of hiccups along that way, man, because with the success that I had my freshman year with football, I didn't stick with the team. So this is the story that got me to basketball. My freshman year, we lost to Morristown.
Okay.
And we had a consolation game that they wanted to play. And I'm like, I don't play no consolation game. I'm about to go hoop. So my goofy self goes and writes a letter to the coach and says, Coach D, I did it in front of the team. And I told the team, like, listen, I don't believe in playing in the consolation game. I'm about to go take my talents and go play basketball.
Mm-hmm.
They was upset with me, man. Coach D was like, listen, you do that, like, don't think you're going to be able to come back so easily. So I went, played basketball. Like I say, I had I may not be able to go back to play football. So let me have a ball out freshman year. And that's what made me ball out as a freshman on varsity.
Okay.
For basketball, because I didn't know if I was going to be able to play football again.
Yeah.
I had burned that bridge, man. But along that journey, man, each year it was always something because I never wanted to listen in the summer. I'm a summer baby. So in the summertime, that's when you got football camp. That's when, you got team activities, hitting the weight room, all of that. So for me, I always was an individual that all you need to do is just give me the blueprint, give me the plan. I got the work ethic to go do it myself.
Right.
And not only am I going to do it myself, I'm going to bring others with me to do it. I never did any of these things by myself. I just was the one that I like to be a leader. You know what I mean? I like to pull people together. I like to draw the best out of them. So, along that journey, man, I just kept messing up during summer times. And Coach D just kept giving me, time at a time, chances after chances. And, throughout those times, I would get deeper into basketball in the summertime.
Okay.
And that's where like the rec leagues and playing in the Montclair leagues, my godfather, Ronald Salahuddin, Atari.
Atari.
Atari, used to come snatch up the fellas out of the projects. Like, man, listen, y'all ain't got nothing to do. Y'all look like y'all bored. Like, listen, let's go to these towns. Let's go to these parks, the Elmwood parks, the Montclair parks, and going even down to Branch Brook sometimes and things of that nature. Like, he didn't want us to stay in our town, because we knew our talent in our town and the history of basketball and everything in our town. But he wanted us to see how other people ball, how other kids gel together and see how alike we were. And, he taught us a lot of fatherly things along the way that I wasn't able to receive as a high school player. I love Martin, Coach Martin. He's still my guy today. Cleon is still my guy, always. Mm-hmm. But I just saw them more as, like I said, I was horrible, man. I was really horrible with my attitude, man. So I really wasn't listening, but I was listening, if you get what I'm saying. I didn't want them to see that I was listening, but I was listening. And the only person that really could get to me, man, and keep me on basketball was Atari, because he poured into me like a father. He taught me discipline. He taught me how to use the talents that I had and get what I needed to. You know what I'm saying? Respectfully as a Black man growing up. And he helped me realize that, even with the upbringing that I had, man, I didn't have the best upbringing. But a lot of people didn't understand that. They didn't see that. They just saw I was a kid coming from a well-known family, and they thought that I had all the answers, that I knew right from wrong, and I didn't. Mm-hmm. So with Atari being there, he saw the leader in me. He saw the passion. He saw the pain. He saw all of the things that, were void in my life, and he filled it. And along with that, he didn't do that just for me. When he helped me, he helped a whole other group of folks and generation of kids that, we was ready to hit the blocks. We heard of the stories about Robert Skipper and, the Willie Graves and, folks not making it out, or they make it out for a short time and then, they back at home. So, Atari changed the game with, him being, Muslim. It gave me some sense of discipline, because I didn't want to disappoint him. Mm-hmm. And I knew he was a man of standard, a man of character.
Yeah.
And that when he said something, it meant something strong, and he wasn't backing down from it. So I never challenged him. He never gave me room for that challenge. And that's what I was able to give to my teammates, man. And that kept us together throughout basketball to a point, I ended up becoming an all-time leading scorer in basketball when I didn't even really like basketball. Yeah. And
Crazy. Yeah.
And once I recognized that, man, I got the record. I think I got the record in my junior year,
Mm-hmm.
and in my senior year, excuse my language, I just fucked off, man. Excuse my language. I was smelling myself. Like I said, my attitude was horrible, man. And, I saw my way out. I saw my ticket out. I was going to South Carolina. You couldn't tell me nothing. And that's what made me like literally put basketball down and separate the two, was because I'm like, I was playing basketball just to prove to my uncle Mike and my other uncles and my mom and them that without y'all help, I did it.
You did it. Yeah.
I did it. And not only did I do it and become the best in basketball, I also turned, and y'all didn't help me with football neither, and I ended up being the best at that too.
Did it Joe way. Yeah. Did it
Yeah.
Joe way.
So, I paved my way, man. And that's why, I feel the way I feel as far as my status in my town.
Yeah.
Or
Hold that thought. Hold that thought for a second. Hold that thought. Before we get to that, the whole recruiting process with football, man. Obviously, you up and running. You got people coming to basketball games, coming to the school. Like, what was going on in your mind? Like, wow, was it just a whirlwind trying to figure this all out? I mean, or you had any help, or how'd it go?
To be honest, I think it shocked a lot of people. It shocked a lot of people because I think a lot of people focused on my attitude more than what I was producing out on the court and on the field. Like I said, it was, man, I had people tell me I was gonna be dead in jail by the age of 12 or 15.
Yeah.
So, and I'm talking about close members, close family members, close people, friends. You see what I'm saying? The ones that you feel like supposed to care for you, supposed to tell you something different. I had huge pressure, even having my role model die at 9, like, man, I was up against a lot, and when it came to the recruiting side of people coming to me, like, I didn't even, and I tell this story so much, it's crazy. When I got recruited to go to South Carolina, I was so ignorant in my mind. I was just happy that D1 schools was coming to see me, because basketball wasn't producing the numbers that the schools that I thought would come.
Okay.
But football, I was always told I couldn't go to Rutgers. I couldn't stay home. I had to get up out of there.
Okay.
But I didn't want to be too far away from family or too far away from what I knew, because I know that would have been a culture shock. So Maryland, Wisconsin, Virginia Tech, I believe Syracuse and South Carolina were like my major schools that like I'm looking at for certain reasons. I wanted to be a running back, but it's up here. I hate talking about myself, but I was better defense than I was offense in high school.
Okay.
In football. So a lot of schools didn't know what they wanted me for. They labeled me just as an athlete.
Yeah.
And for me, what I saw from people that were labeled as an athlete, they tend to not know their place. And then they end up, getting overlooked, don't get drafted. So I'm like, listen, I know I'm better at defense, but I want to go to a school where I can play offense and be that guy like I've always been through youth ball. And the only school that really was, coming at me hard was SC. Now, you hear how that sound, right? SC. The only SC that I knew was the University of Southern Cal.
Yeah.
But when Coach Gould, who was my recruiting coach, came to, recruit me, he just kept talking SC, man, when you get the SC, because we believe we the real SC. We've been there the longest. Okay. We were established way before them. Okay.
Okay.
So I just want that to be known. Okay. So he kept coming in saying, SC, man, you look good in that garnet and black. Now I'm like, hold up, garnet black. Now this me being ignorant.
Right.
I ain't doing no research at that time. We ain't had no Google or none of that other stuff. We still dial up AOL stuff, really. So I'm like, all right, SC. They changing their colors or something, because I know they got garnet and gold, but I'm like, he talking garnet and black. Well, maybe okay. That I rock black and orange high. I'm good. Like, I can rock with that. So mind you, like I said, I'm still in my ignorant stage, man. This was my first time taking a flight, and my grandmother gave me the little tricks and the trades of how to take a flight. I at this time, I'm young, man. I'm doing things that I'm not supposed to. Let's just say that. I'm growing into being a young man. So got some advice. Hey, take a shot. You'll fall asleep right on the flight. That wasn't the best advice. I get there. Somebody helped me get my ticket. I got my ticket. They pointed me to the gate. I was good. I never looked at the card to know like where I'm going. I'm going to SC. Not knowing it was South Carolina though. I had the shot. I'm a little, tipsy. I get on the flight. This whole time, I'm not hearing South Carolina. I'm hearing Southern Cal. I get on this flight, man. I fall asleep. I wake up. Now it's time to get off the flight. The flight attendant comes. She taps me on the shoulder. Young man, this is your stop. I'm like, okay. I get off. I didn't recognize I was in South Carolina until like I went to go get my bags, and I'm looking at the schedule, and I'm like, yo, I don't know what I'm looking at. I'm hungover a little bit. So another lady told me where to get my bags from. I went down. When I got down there, I see a sign that said Cory Boyd, welcome to South Carolina. Man, I'm glancing. I blink again. I'm like, oh man. So that's how I knew I was in South Carolina and I was going to South Carolina.
Yeah.
And that's a story that I used to tell my teammates. I'm like, man, I thought I made a mistake because I didn't really know too much about the school. Even when the recruiter was coming, like he was talking Lou Holtz all in my ear. Now I knew Lou Holtz from when he was at Notre Dame.
Yeah.
I had no clue he was at South Carolina. So my recruiter was so cool, man. He was so down to earth, and he showed me so much love. He was the only one that just kept coming back to the school. I think like he came to the first home game that we had my junior year. I think I had a pretty decent game or something, and he was like, nah. He told Coach D something like, nah, I don't think he's that good like that. So he was gonna come back.
Okay.
He came back again. I think I had a pretty decent game again. And he came back. The game that we played, who did we play? West Caldwell.
Okay.
My junior year. The game before the first playoff game. No, the game before the championship, I believe. He came to that game, man, and I showed out, man. And at the end of the game, he gave me this look that, man, you my number one guy. That's all he kept saying to me. You was my number one guy. And even at that time, they was recruiting their five-star running back that was already in state in Demetrius Summers. So they really didn't need me.
Okay.
But Coach Gould was like, man, listen, he kept bigging me up to Coach Lou Holtz. And, I guess whatever tapes that Coach D was able to put together for me, man, at that time, he kept saying it, man. And by my senior year, like I said, he was at mostly every home game, like really, man, we want you at SC. We want you at SC. We think you look good in SC, man. That number 3 on your back will look good, man. You can keep the legacy going, man. We'll take care of you as a man. Like whatever you did as a youngster here and the mistakes that you made, You know, you can become a whole different person. You can start over. Even if you do make mistakes, they're going to love you regardless. All you have to do is produce in the classroom
Mm-hmm.
and on that field. And I said, I agree. But at that time I had dreads. And he was like, but the only thing that I'll say that's gonna hold you back is that we got a policy that you can't have no hair. And I'm like, man, you crazy. I had the wicked dreads, you know. I was like I said, I was smelling myself. You couldn't tell me I wasn't like the a part of the Dipset. That's who I thought I was. I thought I was a part of Jewel's, Cam,
Yeah, Jimmy and all
Billy.
those. Yeah.
You couldn't tell me I wasn't with them boys, man.
Damn. So you decide to go and you cut them.
Yeah, man. It was. I took a visit there. I only took 2 visits out of all them 5 schools. I only
Okay.
took 2 visits. I took my first one to South Carolina, and when I got here, you know, it was the Barber twins from Montclair. You
Mm-hmm.
know, so like I knew people. You know what I mean, and they knew me, and you know, we was trying to, you know, teach the Southerners about us Jersey folks, man.
Top.
And
Yeah.
you know, at that time, our track team and our volleyball team, you know, they had the most beautiful women ever. And for me, you know, my recruit, you know, me and the other recruits, you know, we all out at the school parties because that's where they was taking us to show us around the school. So they took us to the ladies' party, and man, listen, I was in there. They messing with the dreads. And, oh, you coming here? Like, oh, we gonna have my mind that time. I said, listen, I'm good. I'm coming here. I kept
Yeah.
telling her I'm coming here
Mm-hmm.
because it just felt like home, man. The hospitality, you know, everything just felt like it was Jersey, but with less crime and less animosity.
Mm-hmm.
And then I went back home, and the next following week I took my visit to Wisconsin, and that was the worst thing ever. Worst thing ever. It was cold. It felt like Jersey.
Mm-hmm.
um there was there was not enough of our people out there.
Okay.
um I felt out of place. I felt really like a piece of meat.
Mm-hmm.
um I know they have a great history of, you know, taking care of Jersey running backs, and they was the only school as well that wanted me for running back. But the whole visit it just seemed like something off of TV, man, and I just didn't like it because it didn't feel real to me compared to South Carolina. Even with, you know, knowing the recruits that South Carolina was bringing in my class,
Mm-hmm.
I knew that going to Wisconsin, he told me right off the top, hey man, listen, who they had Anthony Davis, I think at that time or something like that.
Okay.
And he was like, man, he's a senior. He's almost out the door. So you really only need 1 year to, you know, get together, and we'll, you know, they were selling it all to me. But I felt like they was blowing smoke up my tail, man. And unfortunately, you know, they promoted a lot of party activity, you know, for the recruits. You know, to me, it was like, you know, you're overdoing it to get your athletes to come here for the wrong reasons.
Right. Right.
And, you know, they got us out there, you know, got us drunk and played pranks on us. And I wasn't having that. You know me, I'm a Jersey boy. We're not playing that. I drink with you, I play around. I want to feel grown, but don't chastise me and do little things like that and, you know, break us in. I didn't like that. So I ended up getting into a fight. I ended up getting into a fight on my recruiting visit and ended up knocking one of the guys out. And the next night, I'm thinking I'm in big boy trouble, and I get to the dinner, and the coaches they know about the fight. Oh yeah, man, see, we like that fire. We want that fire. And I'm like, nah, this seems too weird
Yeah.
and too
Yeah. I hear you.
easy.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, and they sizing you up, touching you, and yeah, man, you're big, you're tall for a running back. Man, I'm like, nah, I'm good. So I think the last night I was supposed to go party with them. I'm like, nah, I'm gonna stay in the hotel. So they started feeling that vibe from me. Because I wear my emotions on my sleeve. So I just told them like, I'm good. I'm just ready to go home.
Mm-hmm.
And I left without really, giving them a real answer about how I felt about the school. I just was like, I'm gonna just continue my recruiting. My the rest of my visits. But then I got home. I had Virginia Tech the following week.
Okay.
After I knocked the old buddy out, after I had that whole experience, and then I'm like, listen, these are the only two schools that really want me for running back. So I'm just going to. The only reason why I would have went to Virginia Tech was because of Michael Vick and because his brother was there.
Okay.
That was the only reason. That was the only reason why I went. But I sat down with my grandmother. We looked at all the variables, looked at everything. It was like, all right, baby, what do you want to do? That was one thing my grandmother always, did for me, was allow me to make the decisions. She always weighed out the pros and the cons and said, hey, now what do you want to do? And I respect her for that. And it all just came up to hair, man. And I'm like, listen, I'm me with or without it, it ain't really taking much away from me. So before signing day, I think we had prom before that.
Okay.
I'm like, you know what? I'm about to shock everybody. I'm about to cut these dreads. I went down the hill, Newark, went to my boy D-High, got me right, gave me the little blackout, gave me the beard. I ain't had no baby yet. I ain't really had no.
So you had the front a little bit.
Had to, but when everybody saw it, it was like, oh. But some people like, the haters. Oh, his rate gonna go down. Ain't nobody gonna like him no more, because everybody had the dreads at that time. That's when the dread wave was at its all-time high.
Okay.
So, I had them shoulder length. I'm like, I was in the game. I cut them. I'm like, but everybody knew. Once I cut my hair, everybody knew what it was for. It was for him to go to college. So when everybody seen me, like I said, some folks congratulated, some like, let's see, now they know I was going to SC. I felt the hate.
Yeah.
So before signing day, I took a picture of myself, and then on signing day, I left South Carolina and everybody in suspense. I just sent the picture to Lou Hopes, and it was me haircut, and that was me telling them I'm committed.
Nah. That's good stuff, man. That's good stuff, man. You get down there, you get to Columbia, man. Like, this ain't no recruiting visit. Now you go and play ball and grow up, so to speak, here, man. Like, just, it ain't mechanic, it ain't orange, man. Like, how was that just being down there versus your couple of day visit, man? When you just got smacked down, I know initially you wanted to play the crib, or at least close to it, but that ain't playing the crib. Yeah. So how was it for you, man? Just overall.
I was ready, man. I was ready for the world. Like,
Okay.
The main thing that was taught to me growing up was get up out of here.
Yeah.
And don't ever come back. Because it's sad to say that, you know what I'm saying? I love my town. I love my city. I love everybody that helped me get to where I am. But like I say, the story that people don't really get to see, man, I'm a project baby. I was raised by my grandmother.
Yeah.
My mom's was in the street. My dad was in the street. I had uncles and people who could show me the way, but they didn't reach me. They couldn't reach me. You see what I'm saying? They got their own kids. Like, it was rough. It was rough for me. Then when moms got locked up for that pivotal point in my life, like, man, that's a side of a story where, yeah, I was angry. I was frustrated. I needed the vent.
Yeah.
And luckily, God showed me that sports could do something for me. You know what I'm saying? But when I got to South Carolina, I was still trying to find myself. Like I say, I still feel like I got something to prove. I'm coming in. I took the chance of coming in with a 5-star All-American, in-state. He the best high school athlete, the best high school running back here in South Carolina, even to this day.
Okay.
And I had to come to school with that.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm living off of what the coaches said about if football don't work out or whenever you're done, you can always come back. I'm looking for a home. You see what I'm saying? I'm looking for stability. I've never had stability besides the 5 years that I had with my grandmother.
Mm-hmm.
And after that 5 years, I was 17. I'm in college now. Like, I'm on my own. Ain't no mom, ain't nobody. I'm thousands of miles away. But that's what makes this University of South Carolina so great, is that my first day here, I turned 18 in South Carolina.
Okay.
I celebrated with my family. I enrolled in school early, before all the other of the recruits in my class. I came down. The first day I got here, my Coach Gould put me with my guy, my brother Jabari Levy, right to this day. He put me with him in a hotel and was like, "Listen, man, I need you to look after him. He's a Jersey guy. Show him the ropes of the South. Don't let him get in trouble." But little did he know, me and Jabari was cut from the same cloth, man. We was cut from the same cloth. So we got into our fair share, but he looked out after me. He was a year ahead of me. He was an All-American and everything down here as well. So the transition wasn't as hard for me. I came here off of the family vibe.
Yeah.
And they didn't back down from that. It wasn't play. It was for real. So when I got down here, I'm the only freshman here. I'm out here from Jersey. They hear the talk. They see the clothes. They see the swag. So I immediately got the attention that I felt like, hey, it wasn't just on that recruiting visit. Oh, they really like this. And then a couple of folks that, I partied with, they remembered me. But they was like, "Wait, didn't you have dreads?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I had to cut them." But the messed up part about it is when I got down here, the coach done changed the whole rule for me and let everybody start growing their hair because I cut mine.
Mm.
So I was kind of hot about it, but I'm like, all right, well, whatever. So for picture day, on the first day of reporting, everybody was still trying to grow their hair. He was like, "Nah, I'm going to use you, Cory, as an example." He came in, he was like, "Hey, you see this kid right here? This kid right here sacrificed his locks to come to this goddamn school." and now he showed up, clean cut face, and you guys out here look like shit. And I'm like, "Oh man." He like, "You know what, coaches?" And they already had this plan. "Coaches, go to your now. You'll see there's some clippers there. Everyone that's in your group, cut their hair." He cut all of their hair. So everybody was hot at me my freshman year. Like, why? Who was this Jersey guy that got all this power? That guy, Coach Holtz, out here making people change rules. And it was a journey, man, when I first got down here, man. I say this school really wrapped itself around me, and I opened my heart up to it, man. Same way as I opened up to Jersey and Orange. They accepted the kid with flaws and all.
Mm-hmm.
And even to this day, they are my greatest fans. This is home for me. Even though Jersey is where I was born,
mm-hmm.
This is where I became a man. South Carolina allowed me to become a man here because it was no judgment. Even when I made the mistakes that I made, they gave me enough room to make a decision to alter my thinking and delete the negativity.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying I was perfect, but in college is where I started to learn how to take accountability for my actions and the things that I was doing that wasn't right, that kept taking away from my athletic talents. That's what I really wanted people to talk about when I stopped playing ball. I didn't want people to talk about, the struggle. Like, I wanted to hide that most of the time. You see what I'm saying? But my life has never allowed me to hide anything. And that's where, you didn't want me to go into it before, so I'm gonna stop. You know what I mean? But being in South Carolina helped me, man, just become a better man, and along that journey, I was able to accomplish some of the same things that I accomplished in Orange, New Jersey.
No, absolutely, man. And what was your mindset as far as on the playing field, man? Did you have to, all right, let me just adjust or tweak some things that I normally do because this is big boy ball now, this SEC. I mean, like, what was your mentality just going into it, man? Again, you play with some gunners back at home, but again, this is on a bigger scale.
Man, I told you, I come up from that Allen Iverson, Kobe Bryant, humble mentality. I got killer all in me.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
that's been the problem. I got too much of a killer attitude,
Mhm.
and that was what I needed to, calm down. But when I got here, like, to me, like, like I said, I almost got into a fight because I'm the only freshman here. They talking about they 5-star All-American, and
Yeah.
I'm just this 3-star, and who do I think I am? So I'm out here. Yeah, I'm gonna run you over. I'm gonna do this to you. I'm gonna do that to you, bro. Come check the tape. I had my high school film. I done had all of this with me
Yeah.
for since I left. It ain't
Mhm.
all of it, but it's enough that I had to let the people in the South know, yo, we play football up north. We
Right.
just ain't basketball,
Mhm.
and I'm a representation. I'm gonna show y'all. So a lot of times, like, it was a lot of, y'all don't do this up north. And I'm like, y'all don't know what we do. Like, I'm gonna show y'all what Jersey about. So it was
Mhm.
still, again, every level of my life, I've always felt like I've had to prove something to somebody else. From a
Yeah.
youngster, youth ball, to uh high school ball. Now I'm in college. Now I'm never shy away from competition at all. I love it. That's what
Mhm.
I'm best at. If I was raised that, okay, you walk in the gym and they say that's the dude right there that everybody say the best. I need that.
You
Let me
need that.
guard
Yeah.
him.
Yeah,
He got
yeah.
to guard me. Listen, you might give me 30, but I'm giving you 32. I'm giving you more because I'm not leaving the gym. What you talking about? Yeah, as we getting older, yo, I remember when I used to get Cory that business. Nah, you won't
Yeah,
catch
you can't you
nobody's.
can't get that. Yeah, you can't get that.
No, you won't catch that. Not, and that's something I wanted to take pride on, was leaving a legacy.
Mhm.
So even at Carolina, I'm like, listen, I got a whole state behind me. That's okay. Jersey is cool, but now I got the whole state of South Carolina. Like, listen,
Yeah.
we love this young man's story. We love how hard he goes at everything that he does. Yes, he makes mistakes,
Mhm.
but this young man gonna lay it all on the line, all out on the line. You ain't got to question his heart. So at every level, I don't know if they had these awards before, but somewhere in there, I became the one that has the biggest heart, or the hardest heart, or something like that, the toughest guy. I don't even know if that's like supposed to be an award, but because of the upbringing that I had, because of the challenges and the dog that I got in me, that the world has allowed me to build up, man, that's how I was able to accomplish everything that I've ever done. I use all the negative as a positive to push me.
Nah, that's real, man. And as you just saying explaining that, man, I remember too. They started having them Heisman talks. It'd be, even early on and all that stuff. Yeah, like that's that competitor. You like, the hell with the 5-star dude. I mean no harm to him, but like you said, man, you gonna go get him, and that's exactly what you did. That's exactly what you did, man. And then I know, well, college, I mean, accolades, all this other stuff, SC record books, all that stuff there. And again, I know you're not a numbers guy, but it's there. It's part of your legacy and it's who you are, man. Then I know, well, did you ever think, even when you got in, like, yo, my next stop is the NFL?
I mean, that was gold. That was once I left Jersey, like I said, I got down here. It's like, man, once I got out of Orange, I knew every skies was the limit. Ain't nobody stopping me. The only person that can stop me is me.
Okay.
And I'm fighting. I was fighting for position at NC. People don't know. Even my freshman year, I started. Everywhere I went, I started as a freshman. Mm-hmm. So there was never no give me time to develop. It's throw them in the fire. I believe in them. So my thing was I can't let people down. So my goal was I keep balling. Somebody going to see all of this hard work. My goal in college was to average 5 yards a carry. That was it. Mm-hmm. I was told if you can give a ball to your running back 2 times and he gets you 5, that's 10. Bam, that's a first down. Keep the chains moving.
Right.
So for me, I knew it wasn't going to be all of that long, 90-yard touchdowns like I was doing in high school, just destroying folks. I knew that wasn't going to be like that in college. I wasn't the fastest, but I knew that I was going to be the strongest because that's what I was built off of. So, my freshman year, I ended up playing in the backfield, but more so at slot. Coach Hose did the same thing. Coach D did. He threw me in the slot. We had about 6 other little running backs in the backfield. We had Kenny Irons. Oh, we had Demetrius Summers. We had, we had a stable of running backs back there. So I took the smart business move. Mm-hmm. And I said, hey, coach, listen, I can help this team as a freshman with these hands. And he put me out at slot. And sure enough, my freshman year, I got freshman of the year for the team over the 5-star guy. Yeah. There was a difference between me and his style. You know what I mean? He was the finesse guy. He wasn't going to hit them holes. He was one of them guys that, man, he see a little bit of somebody in that hole, man, he gonna bounce that thing. But he was so smooth with it, man. Like I said, he deserved every bit of being South Carolina's best running back of all time. I mean, this guy had moves on top of moves. He reminded me of a Barry Sanders, but a bigger version. You know what I mean? So I couldn't really follow that. I had a finesse game too. And in practice, they used to make us challenge each other, man. And I knew I wasn't going to win that battle. So my thing was to show people, I come from the projects. They already feel like I'm a tough guy. This is the thing. I need 5 yards of carry. I can't be like him. If there's a hole, hit the hole. If it ain't no hole, you create a hole.
Right.
That's where the running people over stuff started coming about. And like I said, my first game, my first play as a running back, we at home versus Virginia.
Virginia joint, yeah.
I get a stretch right play. But I'm reading it. I'm smart. I'm reading it. This is my time. This whole game, they front 4 been slashing to the play side. So that's always going to leave a gap if your linebacker is going to scrape over the top. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, this whole game they ain't been scraping over the top. The safety has been the one that's always been down there making plays. And it's always said, if your safety is making more tackles than your linebackers, it's a problem. Mm-hmm. I get my opportunity, man. Stretch play, stretch right, Ranger 28. Boom, I take it. Soon I get the handoff. The first step, I seen the hole open. And all I could see was the touchdown. I ain't see nothing else. Tunnel vision. Mm-hmm. Put my foot in the ground, got in the hole, got to the second level. And as I say, I blink now. That's exactly how fast that man was in my face. I blinked. And all I could do at the moment was duck my head. Mm-hmm. And if you go back and look at it, man, and that man went head up, boom. And I felt him take a, and he just dropped. In that moment, that was my welcome to NCAA hit. Mm-hmm. Got up. And we both flew back, but I got up. And my team, I heard it throughout the whole stadium, 80+ thousand. Ooh.
Yeah.
And then that's when I knew, man, I could do this. I could do this. This easy work. This easy. And he was bigger than me. I was just a tall, lanky running back. Mm-hmm. He was a big safety. He came down, laid that thunder. I ain't gonna lie, he laid that thunder. Mm-hmm. But you know, he started twitching and shaking. My teammates started clowning, and then that's where they Wrecking Ball Boyd and, you know, giving me all of these, you know, tough names and things of that nature. So I had to live up to that, you know what I mean? But I still have finesse in me. I just chose to, all right, well, everything's been hard for me. Let's just, you know, be a hard-nosed running back.
Yeah, nah, absolutely. Nah, I seen that a few times, man. I seen that play a few times. That I know, again, with everything, obviously, you just stay with it. You're just consistent, just with everything, and even with the coaching changes from Holtz to Spurrier, so you just stay consistent. You had your run-ins. I mean, you're human. You're growing up. I mean, that whole era. I mean, they say adolescent brain don't mature until the late 20s, man. So you know what I mean. So it's kind of like you growing up. So obviously, that whole consistency, and then to get that call like with from was it Tampa Bay, man? Like this, how was that, man? When you got that call, man?
Only I'm gonna answer this one. For everybody that wants this goal in life, I don't want to take away from it.
Okay.
For me, it wasn't the best. It wasn't the best, man.
Was it because you thought you should have went earlier?
I knew I was supposed to go earlier. See, a lot of people don't know the backstory about the pro Cory Boyd and what took place before. You know what I'm saying? This is my first time publicly saying this. My mistakes that I did in college, people used that against me. Mm-hmm. Try to blackmail me, big money. Try to blackmail me, big money, because they saw my stock was rising. A lot of people thought, you know, I wasn't going to do the things that I did at the combine, that I wasn't that, you know, because like I said, a lot of people saw my mistakes, but they tend to forget what I was putting out on that field as a product. And as you said, it was consistency. You see what I'm saying? And at that time, you had guys that were like one-hit wonders, not saying Darren McFadden and all of them, Felix Jones and Matt Forte and CJ2K. Come on, man. I came out with guys that was supposed to still be in college my senior year. If I would have came out, you know, a year before them, or they didn't come out my year, I probably would have been a top 5 running back. But what held me back was the mistakes that I made, you know, and those things, you know, the NFL does a great job of investigating. Mm-hmm. They're going to get the answers that they want, because you're no longer an athlete, you're an asset or either a liability.
Yeah.
And because I did a lot of liability stuff out here in the world, it came back to bite me, man. And, you know, I rubbed some folks the wrong way and hurt some folks. And, you know, they felt it was necessary to try to kill my career before it started. So I battled with that before the draft, and you know, it was some real soul searching, man, because I knew the first day was the first and second round, but the second day was mine. You know what I mean? I finished top 10 in all of the categories for running backs. I posted that up not too long ago on my Facebook, just my combine stats and my pro day stats. You know, I was with the best of them. Mm-hmm. But, you know, hearing you're gonna miss out on millions because of what you did in school and what you did when you was in high school and what you did when you was in youth. It hurt me to the core, because I'm like, that's not a fair shot, man. You don't know how much I poured into this game, how much I sacrificed, how much I cared.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. You scream. There you go.
Oh yeah. My old lady giving me a call. She on her way home. But you know, trying to capture that moment, like, yeah, I'm about to get drafted. It's the greatest feeling. I'm gonna get up out the hood. I'm gonna get my family up out the hood. Like, I'm a numbers guy. when it comes to what it really matters. Is, not what I did numbers wise, but them real numbers out in the world. I started, digging into, hey, how much do a first rounder make normally on a signing bonus compared to the last guy? And my agent broke it down for me, and as the rounds kept dropping, I'm like, yo, damn, that they go the house.
Yeah.
They go, the house for this uncle. They go this for that person. Like I said, I was doing it to get a lot of my family members out, so we could live good. I wanted to be the one of the family that finally made it. Like I said, I come from a family of athletes, and somewhere along the journey, something stopped them.
Right.
Like, yo, with my story, I was the one that was counted out. Now I'm the one that's about to be counted on. And that was a lot of pressure, man. And as I seen the rounds dwindle away, man, I separated myself from the family and went to the only place that I knew best. I went to Bell Stadium.
Mm-hmm.
I went to Bell Stadium, had me a nice black, a 40, and I was about to hang it up. I was about to hang it up. A lot of people don't know that, man. I'm like, listen, the money that these other rounds is talking right now ain't gonna support my family and the dreams that I had. And everybody was trying to call me to get me to come back to the house, but to the party. And I'm like, nah, man, I can't walk in that house and not be drafted. 5th round went by, 6th round going by. I finally pick up the phone from my cousin Mike. He like, bro, where you at? I'm like, I'm at where it all started at, man. So he already knew. Bell has been the home for a lot of us, man, and that was a safe haven for a lot of us. So, he came up, greeted me with the biggest hug ever, man. It was like, bro, no matter what, if you go or you don't, man, like, I'm gonna love you the same regardless. Like, it don't matter if you go play ball, like, you still one of the greatest things that happened to our family, even if you don't feel like it or not. And for that, man, I was like, all right, let's go back to the house. From there, I'm like, listen, I was packing it up. I'm like, whatever. You know what I mean? So I get back to the house. My agent is in the house with my family. I know she felt so out of place. She's a young Caucasian lady. She loved me. Christina. She loved me. Without a shadow of a doubt. She wanted the best for me. She was actually my tutor when I was at the University of South Carolina. So when she got into being an agent and doing her stuff, I went with her and believed that she could help me, but I didn't help myself with all of the stuff that I had did.
Right.
She was going trying to cover it up and, keep it from, tarnishing my legacy, like it could have. But, the funniest part about it was, man, I watched a long snapper go before me. And when I saw that, my family was always watching me every pick, in the 6th round going into the 7th. And every time I see everybody's face, like, and I'm looking at my agent like, yo, what's going on? She on the phone back and forth, not knowing what to do. So they done locked her. She done locked herself in the bathroom because like they was putting the heat on her. And like when the long snapper got picked, like, man, she was in that bathroom, man. And I just, went around the family, hugged everybody, apologized, because I couldn't, it was my fault. I knew it was my fault. And I couldn't look everybody. I couldn't look my elders, my great grandmother, my grandmother, my aunts, and I couldn't look them in the face, man, because I felt like I let them down through the mistakes that I did. And they used to always tell me, like, yo, your attitude is the thing that's going to hold you back from your greatness, Cory. And I didn't listen at that time, man. And I went downstairs, brother. I didn't even get to see my name come across the screen. I didn't even get to really celebrate with my family. And like I said, the ones that's close to me only know this story, man. Denver called me first. The two NFL teams that I played for, Denver called me first. Coach Shanahan was like, listen, you're a great player. We don't have any more picks. If we did, we would use it on you. But, if you don't get picked here in the next couple of, picks left in the 7th round, we got a nice rookie free agents contract for you. I will try to make you as one of the highest paid rookie free agents. I'm like, man, I'm with it.
Mm-hmm.
But in my mind, I'm like, yo, that ain't enough, like, to take care of the family and do what I need. So I get off the phone with them. No lie. I'm not afraid to tell my story. I went to the car and was like, listen, I'm going to do what I normally do. I took a shot with the family
Mm-hmm.
and the friends that was outside. We started partying.
Yeah.
I didn't really care. I remember Anthony Hamilton's song came on, coming from where I'm from. And that, it hurt me. It just, like, the things that he was saying. And then I'm like, yo, I felt so hurt. I'm crying. Everybody like, yo, it's going to be all right, man. All I hear, my agent come running down the stairs. Here, take the phone. It's Tampa Bay. I'm talking to Coach Bruton. He giving me that Gruden talk. Hey, you ready?
Yeah.
But by then, that fight that, like, I used to have wasn't in me. It wasn't in me no more. That fight, I'm like, yo, I've been slept on a lot. I've been having to prove things a lot. I ain't got time to keep doing it. This is supposed to be when I'm supposed to relax and let my skills develop. But yeah, take care of the family. I can't, like, with 7th round money. Like, what are we doing here? Like, I know I'm better than that. But like I said, I had to eat crow because it was my fault. And he's like, listen, don't worry about all the mistakes. And, we know what type of player you are. Just because you're going to get picked here doesn't make you less of a player. By then, I'm like, bro, you don't see this house I'm looking at right now. You don't see these faces. He like, don't worry about it, man. We just ready to get you here. Now, mind you, that's good. Boom. I hang up the phone, give it to my agent. The house went crazy. I never got to see it. All I seen was everybody running out the house. Oh, running at me. This was my exact reaction. I took off running away from them.
Yeah.
I ran down Ogden Street, opposite away from the house. My family had to chase me all the way down to Central Avenue to tell me, hey, it's okay, baby, it's okay. I cried and I broke down. They told me, man, listen, it's okay. You made it. That's all that matters. You made it.
Mm-hmm.
And from then, my attitude was, it was no longer like for the game, man. It was more so for the money. It was more so like about perception. It was about how people are going to see me, how people are going to view me. Like, did I fall off? Did I fall into that saying that, they was waiting. My haters was waiting for me to fail.
Mm-hmm.
And I gave them everything right on the platter. Like, I felt it was a lot of emotions, but it wasn't the emotions to, oh, I got drafted in the NFL. I'm about to go do some amazing things. I got an opportunity. Like, let's go prove something. Nah, it was like, I'm hurt. It's like, I let a lot of people down, man. And I never really bounced back from that until I had another rookie season when I went to Canada. Because not even after I got drafted, I tore my knee. And, a lot of people don't know, man, like, to have a house full of people depending on you, they see you make it. They don't know the numbers. They don't know what's coming behind. They just see my cousin about to go to the league, my little nephew, he about to do it. In
Mm-hmm.
the first day of rookie mini camp, man, I wasn't taking it serious, you know what I'm saying, leading up to rookie mini camp, because I'm partying. I made it. You know what I'm saying? Now I'm like I said, I'm looking at the money side of it. You know what I'm saying? I didn't have no money in my pockets when I graduated. I graduated early. I graduated on time from college. After that, ain't no more Pell Grant money. I come from the projects. I ain't even got my room that I used to have no more. I can't go home. Like, so, I got into debt because, I got a celebrity loan for some money,
Mm-hmm.
got my first cars, and I was living the life trying to be, in the league, what I thought the league looked like on the off
Right.
season.
Got you. Yeah.
Wasn't in shape. got the rookie mini camp. Now I'm trying to turn it on because I see whoever out there. I'm like, man, this shit smoking mirrors.
Mm-hmm.
This shit is, man, I would eat this league up if I would have really got that, that opportunity. That's how my I had to get there to see it. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I done gave away all of my fight, all of my everything because I didn't get picked at a certain round. And to get there and be like, yo, man, it's just like college. It's just like high school. Man, them cameras is smoking mirrors.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this ain't it. Like, I know I could do it. So I tried to go out there, turn it on, man. And I overdid it, tore my knee for the third time. Had to get reconstructive surgery on it. Now I got doctors. Doctors only going to tell you from the perspective of, a regular 9-to-5 person. They don't really diagnose you as an athlete.
Yes.
So if they talking 6 to 8 weeks, it really needs to be, a little bit more than that.
Mm-hmm.
So, I'm getting, results back. Hey, 50-50. You can play again. You might not play again. Like I said, look at my mindset. You see what I'm saying? I'm coming from the projects. I thought I made it out. I thought I beat all the odds. Now I get to my dream and the dream turned into a nightmare. Now you telling me 50-50 chance? I took the other part of the 50-50, which was the negative side. So now I'm watching everybody else get signed. I'm the 7th rounder. In the league, they clown you. You know what I'm saying? Like, people don't know them locker room talks, but they clown you when you ain't making no money. You see what I'm saying? You can't hang out with a certain tax bracket when you in the league. You see what I'm saying? But because of my status or who I was, like, I never backed down. I'm the Jersey guy.
That's right.
So for me, I'm putting pressure on my agent. Yo, I don't care what it is. Listen, just get me X amount of money so I can take care of this loan that I just got up out of school and get me a new car. Because I'm gonna have to be on the road. I don't need no house right now.
Mm-hmm.
She made it happen for me. I ain't in no debt. I had me a nice vehicle. Let's make the team. I tell you, I tore my knee. Now I'm like, yo, oh my God. The little money that I thought I was gonna make off the salary that year, that thing got cut by, I think, about 60%.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm really like, oh my God. I'm watching everybody else get signed, man. It was one of the worst feelings ever. And unfortunately, as most people know, I end up having a fight with the first rounder to leave. To set the record straight, it wasn't we was battling over the foolishness or whatever they were saying it was. We had a finance meeting.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody in my class on the Bucks that year, all the draft picks, they recognized that I was able to speak well. So they nominated me to be the speaker. But our first rounder to leave was, at that time, my guy. He my guy to this day. We even shook hands after it. But, he was a little bit cocky. He was from Jersey too. You know what I'm saying? So he got his little ways of handling things and how he was talking to people. And I just wasn't with it. He was just too cocky. I'm not saying I was jealous or anything. It's just that he humbled me in a way that, like, no other way I can see it. God showed me that, like, that could be you, but you chose to go this route. So now you got to watch this type of person get that type of money.
Yeah.
Talk to y'all any type of way.
Mm-hmm.
So he was talking to the 5th rounder. Real wicked, man. Real wicked. And he was an old lineman, big guy, but he was a quiet big guy. And unfortunately, man, like, I told him, I'm like, listen, Dre, listen. That can't be me, bro. If he come out his mouth and he say the wrong thing, Jersey gonna come all through him. He messed around. He heard it. He turned around and said something about, man, y'all just mad because I'm making money. Y'all broke as late rounders. So I'm like, all right, that's the next thing that come out of his mouth. I'm laying about. I'm gonna slide. So they gave us a certain budget, and we had to make that budget work for us for a whole year as a rookie. We're
Okay.
gonna give you $1 million. This is the budget. This is what you got to do with that. So everybody taking it serious. We all throwing in ideas of how we're gonna flip the money, invest the money, this, that, and the third. Man, he came out of his mouth with some real ignorant stuff. Oh man, we're gonna get the mansion like I got now. We're gonna get the CL this like I got now. We're gonna have the girls, we're gonna have parties, the girls gonna come over, they gonna pay for the house, and they gonna bring. I'm like, bro, I'm not getting up here talking like that, bro. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
you see I'm the 7th round, right? You see I'm already messed up with my knee, right? Come on, bro. Like, oh man, like I told you, I'm just broken, man. I'm like, all right, I told him. I got up, gave him a piece of my mind, poked him in the face. We got up, we ain't doing that bump to bump, chest to chest, titty to titty stuff. I'm from Jersey. I felt like he was gonna get me before I got him, so I got him. And the fight just, they broke it up, told us it wasn't gonna get let out the room. TV cameras wouldn't capture it. We got placed on probation and placed in the program, the substance program. I don't know why, but we got placed in that anyway. And from there, man, like I had the directive, hey, you just gotta go to rehab, lift, and then that's it. Like, I didn't feel like I was a part of no team in no NFL, man. Like, I went in at 6:00 in the morning. My workouts and everything was done by 9. I couldn't stay at practice. I was living in a hotel, but I'm in the league now. I'm in the hotel. So, man, to be honest with you, man, I got in them streets, man, and I got all of these tattoos, man. I got caught up in the tattoo game, man. I was angry at myself. I was really hurt, I let a lot of people down. I had an opportunity. I ended up letting myself down again. So now I'm at the tattoo shop telling my life story on my arms and on my body, and chilling at the University of South Florida every day while I'm supposed to be in the NFL. And I mean, in Florida is different, man, especially in Tampa. Tampa is something different. So like, man, I'm the NFL guy. I'm driving a nice car. I'm in the hoods. I go, you go to what you know. And I end up getting arrested, man. I end up getting arrested. I don't know what transpired with, the team and them police that night. I got arrested. The man gave my car back, gave my keys back, man, and was like, he gave me the scolding of a lifetime. I tell you that police officer really made me feel like trash. He was like, man, with all of the opportunities that you got right now, you know how many other people would love to be in your position, and you out here messing up with these kids, man. And he knew a little bit of my story because it took him a long time to come back to that car.
Okay.
But, every mistake that I've made in my life, unfortunately, has been publicized, man. I can't hide from it. So all I had to do was grow up and start being able to take accountability for it and start changing my ways. But I never, like I say, had an opportunity to stop and breathe until, like I said, after that rookie year, man, it was crazy. I tore my knee. That arrest happened. I told the team the next day. They got rid of me. And I was in Tampa, man, just stuck. Like, yo, my knee, I'm still on that 50-50. I started gaining the most weight ever. I got up to about 240. I barely could run. I was still on crutches type joint. Like, then I had folks in my ear, agents trying to beat me in the head for money, cats in my pockets. Like, it wasn't the best NFL experience, man. I had to go into hiding, for a little bit. And, that's when I found God, man. Like, that was the time where I felt like it was one of the lowest points in my life where God just was like, you ready to listen? You
Yeah.
ready to listen now?
Yeah.
Because the next stage is, bro, you going home. You got to live up to it now. You got to go home and tell people what really happened. But I sucked it up. I didn't, to see all them people at the house on draft day. But when you tear your knee and you go through all of this, man, nobody was really there, man. Like, this journey has been lonely. It has really been lonely to a point where it's not until now. I'm 35 years old. I'll be 36 in the next 2 months. That now I'm comfortable with saying, I don't have to defend nothing. I don't have to prove anything to anybody in this world.
That's right.
All I want to do now is use my story to help the next generation, man. May it be the street side that I was in, to the academic side, to the football side, to the basketball side, to the coaching side now, whatever it is, man. All I want to do now is just help others. Now I understand. I've been understood my purpose, but it just took me a long time to accept that it's a certain way that you got to go about doing it, man, because that same gift can be a curse as well. And for some years, man, I felt like I was living a nightmare and I couldn't face a lot of my folks, man. But the greatest thing that I know great about myself that God has blessed me with is work ethic.
Yes.
To me, ain't no losing. When you lose, you still gain. You gain knowledge if you really paying attention to what you're trying to gain.
Mm-hmm.
I try to gain success off of knowledge. I don't care about the money. I had millions, lost millions, back at it. Like, I don't really, like, money is money. Purpose matters the most. Like, and that's where, I see these athletes nowadays, man, a lot of them after the bag. Sad to tell, a lot of them, man, like, you're going to be chasing a bag that you may never get.
Yeah.
But
Real.
the knowledge on the way to getting that bag, that's the riches. That's why I know, like, if anything, ever happened to me financially, I hope then, Heavenly Father, even though it has happened already, like I said, man, the story goes deep where agents in my pockets, everybody, like, I never reached back to nobody, asked for help. The only person I asked for was God, because when I turned my life over to God, he was the one who settled my heart. He's the one who told me it was going to be okay. And I promise you, it was like how me and you talking right now. I promise you, it was, I got you, do this, follow this. And it was in a familiar voice, that Andrew, that devil on your shoulder.
Yeah.
It's just that I got tired of listening to the devil on the shoulder, kicked him off, and just was like, yo, I'm rocking with you, God. Like, whatever you want me to do. If you tell me the toughest thing is for a man to curb his mouth and his tongue, Father, if that has been one of my problems, take care of that. If he say, don't be so quick with your anger, help me with that.
Mm-hmm.
Because all I know how to do is this, God. And as I started, getting into his word more, man, it is a living word. And God ain't just no one person. God is in everything, every place, and everything we do. And I seek him at everything now, And I always say that my life and my path and my journey wasn't for me. It was for the next generation. Because like I said, I was around with the legends from Orange.
Yeah.
I'm an 80s baby.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The last of a dying breed. The last thing smoking, them 80s babies. So I was able to see a lot of, the guys that came before me. They was the ones who set the standard for me to break. So, now that I'm this age, I'm not a cocky individual. I'm just a humble and confident individual, because I know what I went through and what I still go through this day. And I found the blueprint that God has given me to what success is and what success means to me. My success don't mean the same thing as yours. It doesn't mean the same as the next man.
Right. Nah, Corey, man, that's heavy and it's real. And even your worst of times in Tampa became your best of times. You know what I mean? As far as you finding God and, obviously your journey continued, whether it was the NFL, Denver, or the CFL. But you just mentioned your other purposes, man. You to go back and teach and coach and all that, all that stuff there, man. Like the league and all that's great and everything else, man. But I can only imagine like all these kids' faces or whoever's faces that you just that you've touched. And that kind of all that did that birth the whole CB3 athletics too around that time? But did that start coming in a transformation or, because I know that you got that up and running as well.
Yeah, CB3 started actually in 2010, 2011, like
Okay.
my first CFL. I recognized that football over there was just a little different.
Mm-hmm.
And kids was losing out on it, you know what I'm saying? Because how the school structure is, you get automatic 5 years of high school.
Okay.
So a lot of kids would not play football until they got to high school, but they had some talent out there. And for me, man, I'm like, I like to be around kids, man. They make me remember the things that I missed out on.
Okay.
And I'm still young at heart. I can still move around with them. So listen, I'm going to have fun with them the best way I can. I don't want to be no old grumpy man talking about the past. Them kids don't want to hear that. They want to know the new trendy stuff. So I had to stay on top of things with that. So I used to get in the community out in Toronto, man, go to the toughest places. Like I say, I'm just that guy. I'm always in the hood. I feel like I could save a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So I went to, some of the rough neighborhoods, was able to bump into Drake a couple times. And unfortunately, we weren't able to collab on things. I wasn't that big of a guy in Toronto like he is, but I was on my way there. And along with the experience that I had in the NFL, I knew, listen, now I'm more focused on the business side of it.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not just going into this as a player, I'm going into it as a coach. And unfortunately, the first day of rookie mini camp in the CFL, I banged my head on the ground, get a concussion. Now I was out for 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
So that whole situation, man, was like, what am I going to do after football? A young lady by the name of Gina approached me and was like, hey, you need to tell your story to these kids in the community, bullying and, all of these other little interventions that you could do to help get your name out there outside of football, for when football is over, because it's not forever. And she kicked some good knowledge to me, man. And that's what made me start, doing CB3. I had to put a name to it. I didn't want to just have some made up name that didn't have any substance behind it. A lot of people think CB3 stands for Cory Boy. It didn't. It stood for the 3 C's that I felt an athlete should follow. First, you have to commit your best, commit to doing your best. Then you had to compete against the best.
Mm-hmm.
Then you get crowned the best. That's what CB3, those were the 3 CBs that it stood for. But I'm pretty sure everyone thought because my number is 3 and CB, it was all catchy, and I literally, man, I heard God say it twice, when I first started, hey, CB3. It was me and a roommate. He had broke his neck. He was like, man, you already in the city. I ain't playing no more. Like, let's come up with something. Let's do something to give back. My homeboy has a program called MH100, and he gave me the blueprint. I want to pass it on to you. He passed it on to me. And from there, man, it was like, all right, I went back to school to get another certificate. I graduated from the University of South Carolina with a hospitality and sports management degree. But then I'm like, I ended up my first year in Canada, the concussion, I broke my pelvis. There was no no team doctor like that. So my first year, as much success I had a lot of downfalls in that year. Listen, my story has always had a lot of trials and tribulations along with it. Because in my first year, concussion, broken pelvis, my best friend, roommate from college, commits suicide, Kenny McKinley. Like I was messed up in the head, man. Like, and then with all the success that I was having in Canada, that's what I wanted to have in the States.
Okay.
So that my family could see. But, it didn't formulate the way it needed to. And in my last years, again, I heard God say CB3, like I told you, you know. And from there, I'm like, okay, God, I don't know what that means. I don't know how I'm going to do it. I got some coins in my pocket. I'm going to invest in myself. I'm not going to work for nobody. I think, I've built up a good enough rapport that, the city would love me. They would support what I got going on. I help 3 young gentlemen, this was their first time playing ball at the next level, which was, I think they were going into high school. And these 3 young, Caucasian athletes were my first three athletes who committed to me. They believed in my story, man. And in one off season, they trained with me to get me healthy. But yeah, I was teaching them how to get better. And they ended up winning their first state championship the next season. And, I was able to move on to, helping, build CB3 to what it is today. I opened up my gym. And unfortunately, soon I did that, my grandmother passed, man. And that knocked all fight out of me, man. And I'm not afraid to say this. I'm not afraid to say this today. At that time, I had just opened up a gym, just moved into a new condo. Mm-hmm. Then all of the team doing all of this craziness. They cut me when I was the lead in League Russia. And it was all politics. I don't throw anybody under the bus. Like they chose, it was a smart business move, but personally, it wasn't. Mm-hmm. And I didn't understand it at that time because I took it personal. You see what I'm saying? It was a way to kill my character. I was blackballed. There was no real explanation on why they did what they did. And they left it in the air. So if you leave anything in the air, and I'm not gonna, burn a bridge, you know what I mean? It just turned out to look pretty bad. And the remainder of my last year in football, like, it just wasn't for me, man. Like, but I was in the best shape of my life. I felt like I could get a game 10 more years. I was just turning, 29, 30. I'm like, man, I got this. Like, I got this. This is cake. But, that season happened and I had to move on, man. Before my grandmother passed, she, my grandmother was the one who told me to stay away from Jersey, stay away from Orange. When you leave, don't come back. And in her last days, I should have took heed a little bit more. Mm-hmm. When she would say, baby, come home. It's okay. I see the struggles that you got going. I went from, I got that LeBron treatment. Let's say that. A lot of people don't know that. I got the LeBron treatment, burning of the jerseys. And Toronto went and won a championship that same year that they let me go. And the running back, it was a storyline, man. It was really a storyline, man, to the point where, I was forced into CB3. I had just invested into the gym. My grandmother passed. Before she passed, she talking about come home. Now I'm thinking, hey, come home might be the right time to come home. put my name in to be a coach at the high school. Coach D, he been there like 50 years. Like, this would be a great story of redemption. Like, it didn't formulate that way. So, I took some time before I came home. And in that time, man, I was homeless. A lot of people don't even know this, man. Some people that are close to me know. Because I had to, I was homeless, bro. Had all the money that I needed in the world, but I was homeless. Because I was lost, man. That year, I took so many L's, and the biggest L was my grandmother, man. That was like my last sin eater. That was the one that I could open to and tell her anything. And, I couldn't even muster up to tell her in her last days, like, I'm out here, Granny. I'm out here. I'm just winging it. I'm in my car. All my stuff is in the car. I sold everything else off. I'm ready to do what you said. Come home. Mm-hmm. And she had made it through a surgery, bro. And some complications came in, and my aunt told me that, on her dying bed, the last little things that she did was ask for me and tell me it was going to be okay. That's enough to let me know I'm good in this world. Okay. That, I don't have to, do this for nobody else. Just continue to be Cory, continue to be the new me, the blessed me that God has given me to be, and to affect as many people as I can before they put that casket closed. I know I'm young with it, but I got an old soul. Now I've seen a lot and been through a lot, man, to a point where I just want to utilize my story as a way to inspire others to be great and never give up on themselves, man. Greatness can come from the concrete. Even a rose grows from a concrete. And that's what I think. So even rose got thorns, man, but they are beautiful. You give them some time, you nurture them, you water them. They'll make your heart feel real good.
Nah, absolutely. Absolutely. Definitely a bunch of roses from the concrete. And even with those thorns, every now and then you gotta get poked just to remind yourself. But that rose is still beautiful, man. The rose is still absolutely, man. I know you probably done seen a little bit of these, man. Just kind of have some fun, man. Before we go, I know you said your lady back at the crib, man. I want no problems. Yeah. So, but if you was that?
She came in the room.
Yeah. All right.
She know to give me my little time when I'm doing these things, and she'll rub my back later and say, "Baby, it's okay. You did good."
Nah. That's love, man. That's love, man. No, just
She'll
like I said
too.
she is okay. All right, no, that's what it is, man. That's definitely what it is, man. Now, sidebar, I didn't go to Orange High. I went to Immaculate, but I went straight through. I went to Orange Middle, everything else, but everybody else stayed at the high school, and I slid off to Immaculate here. But I'm Orange. I'm definitely Orange all day, man. Yeah. So
we used to slide off to Immaculate too.
You said what? Oh yeah. We'll leave that alone. I your lady in the room. I'm sure. I wonder why you.
Yeah. She knows she was around. She was around. She's she was a cheerleader for the football team at one time, and then she became a coach at one time. So she know the Cory boys story. She had to hear a lot,
man. Man, she got to, man, to be with you, man. She got to know everything, the ins and outs, the highs, the lows, everything. Absolutely, man. So just fire up some, put you on the spot a little bit before we go, man. What when you back at the crib, whenever you do make your way up there, man, or just in general while you was up there, man, you a turnpike or you're a parkway guy?
Parkway.
Parkway, okay. Central Ave or Main Street?
Central Ave.
All right,
That's tatted on me. Central Ave. Jurassic Park.
Yeah, so if you're talking Central Ave, I guess it's corner Central Ave in Scotland, but White Castles or sandwiches?
Ooh. Say that one more again.
White Castles or sandwiches?
Ooh, you playing games. Listen. I gotta tell you a story. Listen, it's White Castles, but the reason it's White Castle, listen, I stole my grandmother's car to go to White Castles.
What you do the
One
car?
night,
Did it?
oh, listen, I ain't had no L's, no nothing, but I was hungry. I was craving White Castle burgers. I think that's when the little White Castle movie came out. Bruh, like I say back in the day, listen, I'm not a
Yeah.
shot about my, listen, we had the munchies. I'm like, listen, the only car that we know is Granny car, and she park in the same spot every day. So if we move this car and somebody take her spot, that's our ass. I'm like, yo, I told my cousin, hey, take the chairs, sit outside of her parking spot while I go to this thing. Man, I took everybody order, went to White Castles, got the burgers. I'm chilling on the Ave, done forgot. Drove back. I get back to the projects. My cousins and them snitched on me like, no, tomorrow. I done forgot all about they burgers. But listen, White Castle burgers that had you stealing your grandmama car.
Yeah, I see
Night,
that.
get them.
I see that. That's funny, man. That's funny. Uh, Columbia, South Carolina, or Orange, New Jersey?
Ooh. Mm, mm. I'm gonna make a lot of people mad on this. South Carolina, Columbia.
Okay, well, maybe your answer change with this one. Bell Stadium or William Price Stadium?
You talking 80 plus thousand.
Hey, you never know. You never know.
Okay, I'll say this. Like I say, I'm gonna get a lot of hate for this. William Bryce. And the only reason why I say William Bryce is because, like I say, I touched 80,000 plus,
Yeah.
either in the stadium or at home.
Mm-hmm.
In Jersey, I had to win those people over because of the people that came before me. You see what I'm saying? No matter how much greatness I showed these people, how many records, all the records I broke, these people still won't give me my credit.
Yeah.
So that's why I say William Bryce rather than Bell State.
Lou Holtz or Steve Spurrier?
Oh, it's a tie. They both brought something to the table that. Now, if you would switch it and say, you got to give me somebody else rather than them, because I had a lot of great coaches. It's only
I know.
It's only one coach that has been the greatest coach to me ever, and that's Coach Randy Daniels.
Coach D.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Ain't nobody jumping Coach D. I done had the greatest Shanahan, Gruden, Lou Holtz, Spurrier. They all have a different. They all on their own level, but Coach D, man, he like Michael Jordan in his time. Like everybody else right here, Coach D like up there.
Yeah.
But between those two that you said, they both gave me something different, man. Lou Holtz gave me a father figure. Everything was gonna be all right. Steve Spurrier gave me perfectionist, study the game, perfect your craft.
Best game you ever played in your life on any level?
Ooh, that is too many. It's way too many. I can't even give you that.
Anyone stick out?
Crazy. Listen, it's crazy to the point, man. I hate saying it in this way. I've done so many great things I don't even remember.
Does anything stick out? Any games stick out?
I mean, if you want to go, you got to go by each level. Youth ball. That moment I told you when we was in the championship in Florida.
Yeah.
I mean, in Virginia. High school. It's just way too many, man. It's way too.
Nah. Fair enough.
College, though, I can give you college was my welcome to NCAA hit. That was one of my greatest, games. Pros. Ooh. I would say my birthday game. When I turned 25, I had 3 touchdowns, brought us back to win the game. And I think that led us to go into the playoffs or something like that. So yeah, that was pretty cool.
Now, I got a couple more, but I got the fan in me question, man. Just Saturday night, ESPN, man. Like, just where, what kind of high are you on, man? Just lining up you in these stadiums, man. Just like what
You
kind
talk,
of high? What kind of high? What kind of excitement you on? Like just knowing it's a televised game, you on the big, on the big scene here, man. Just how was those games for you, man? Just whether it's leading up or actually playing them.
to be honest with you, man, I don't like to toot my horn, but I deal well with pressure and pressure situations. You see what I'm saying? Because I look at it like if I can make it through Orange, New Jersey, I can make anything. I can make it through anything.
Nah,
So, you know, when you first go out there or leading up to it, practice throughout the week, it's you around your guys. You're in a routine, you see the same people. So you don't really see the 80 plus that you really would, see on game day. You see in fans, you see in the media, they trying to catch you slipping on any little thing to make bulletin board and locker room talk. So you're being coached on not to, give any edge to your opponent. You're very secretive. So you're isolated a lot during the season, throughout the week and game day. But after that, all gloves off. So leading up to it, it's preparation, man. Like I said, I got that Mamba mentality. I'm going out to kill. Like I don't care if you LSU #1, Alabama, whoever. We was trying to take your head off.
that's right.
And
Yeah.
I had a group of folks that was with me that had that same type of that same type of mentality, but it also was like we got little bruh in front of us. He's a youngin, and he coming out like I won over the hearts of a lot of people through that. So leading up to a game, it's like just perform, just do what you're supposed to do. It's just you in this arena. That's it. It's you in this arena. Nobody else is in here. Do what you do best and let the chips fall where they may. So game day come. I ain't no, hey, I'm on TV tonight. Yo, check me out, check me out. Nah, I was just too cocky at that time to be. They'll see it because I knew I had a whole state behind me watching. Like I say, everybody's been waiting for me to fall off or make that mistake. So for me, I'm like, I feed off of that. I thrive off of that. Like, let's go. So game day come, I got, grown men and seniors looking at me in the face like, is he ready? They trying to see a flaw. Is he going to blink? Is he going to sweat? Is he going to smile? Like, nah, I'm about that business. I've always been about business. Football ain't no game to play with. Like, if you go out there, half stepping, take the wrong turn, not really seeing the game, the game within the game and slowing the game down, you're going to hurt yourself, man. You're going to really hurt yourself or you're going to end up hurting somebody. And I learned that from my first hit. See what I mean? So once I learned, that was it, man. Like everything ain't just physical in football. For me, it was mental. Like I had to see, that was the only way that I was able to do the things that I was able to do. I slowed the game down. That's the only time in life that I felt like I could slow life down was when I played football.
Okay. Now it makes sense. It makes complete sense here. Best team you ever been on?
We talking about whatever level?
Whatever level.
Whatever level, what sport? You gotta remember.
Yeah, it makes no difference. Makes no difference. It makes no difference. Makes no difference.
Oh man, the best team that I've been on. I would say my senior year. Like, no, it's two. It's two. It's two. It's two. I gotta give my top three. I'm sorry.
Okay. No, fair enough.
Junior year of high school was my best year because I had great potential and everybody else was able to see that I had great potential. Mm-hmm. The next great team was my senior year because now we got all the PWC together. They didn't break us up. Darryl Sims, even though he don't get the credit that he gets, he is Orange High's one of Orange High's best quarterbacks. Mm-hmm. He threw to the Orange High's best wide receiver in Marquise Bonds. And then he also had me. And then he also had little Fred Cappy. Like, we had the whole squad. We weren't a big squad, but we had a lot of heart. So that's my second. My third is my my senior year of college.
Okay.
My junior year of college, excuse me. Because we had Sidney Rice, we had Kenny, we had Darren Stewart, we had, oh my God, we had Captain Mutterland, we had Jared Cook. These all people that are in the NFL right now or have played in the NFL. And these were my young boys. They were younger than me. Mm-hmm. So that was a great year to see the talent that we had. And, you know, we even got up to like 6 in the nation. And then last couple games they was going downhill, but you know, that was a great team, man. We had a lot of great NFL talent. We had, you know, a great coaching staff. Everybody was like on a wave, like, and it was all the young dudes, like, and it was, I don't like to take credit for a lot, but with them young dudes, they took on the CO, the crazy, outrageous me, and they rocked out with me. It was like how I felt. They made me feel like that senior class in high school.
It's a hell of a feeling, man. Hell of a feeling, man. Someone who should have made it, however you define made it, like at any level, whether it was college or pro, somebody who should have made it.
And it didn't happen?
How you want to define made it, right?
Man, I'm old school, man. Willie Graves, Robert Skipper. I mean, those the ones that I mean, touched my heart. And one more, I think his name Tariq Green.
Tariq, I know Tariq. Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean. Oh, cool, Uncle O.
Yeah. Now, speaking of Orange, your five best athletes come out of Orange.
Any generation, right?
Generation.
Let me make you laugh. You remember Making the Band?
Oh, the Puff Show? Did he? Yeah.
When he like die line. me. Nah, that's it. I just want to make you laugh. Nah. But the greatest man out of Orange,
if you could name five.
I'm not going to include myself.
Okay.
These are the 5 under me. These are the 5 under me. Messing around with you though.
No, you're not. You're not. But go ahead.
I know. You know I'm not, but I don't want to ruffle the feathers of others, man. But I love it, man. It's just all funny.
Absolutely.
I'm gonna show love to all of my ones that came before me. I'm gonna go with oh man, this is a lot. I'm gonna ruffle a lot of people's feathers, boy.
That's the fun of it, man. Some people get left out, man.
Is it Rob Butts? Is that his name?
You talking about basketball player or?
Yeah, basketball.
Rob Cole?
Yeah, my bad. Rob Cole. Mike Boyd.
Mike, okay.
Whew. Oh man, I say Skip, Robert Skipper.
Skip, okay.
Now I'm gonna take it back because these football. Sam Seal, Terrell Willis.
Terrell. Okay.
But that it ain't in no order. You see what I'm saying? It ain't no order.
You the best athlete.
I gave you basketball and I gave you football.
You the best athlete to come out of Orange?
Say that one more again.
You the best athlete to ever come out of Orange High?
Say that again. Listen, people know how I feel. I watched Muhammad Ali say he was the greatest.
Mm-hmm.
And I watched the whole race, the whole nation of people try to tell that man he wasn't until he showed you. Yeah. And then you understood it.
That's right.
I come up off of that. I was raised off of that. Why would I ever say any man is better than me? And when I put in the work, I put in the time, I gave blood, sweat, and tears. Numbers, men and women lie, numbers don't. So I would hate to sit here and say I'm the greatest and I can't back it up.
Right.
I heard Terrell Willis say he tried to, I don't know what he was saying. I broke every record he got.
Okay.
Sam Seal would tell you that I did what I did because he's an NFL scout. He was a scout.
Right, right.
You see what I'm saying? So football wise, everybody knows. I don't need to say that. Then you add in basketball. Basketball wise, I never placed myself as the greatest basketball player. I don't even consider myself in the top 10.
Yeah.
As a basketball player for Orange High. Okay. All I say is, and I want to show you this. This is all I can say. Until somebody tell me otherwise, right?
Right.
All of them, Reg Miller, Cleon, Cleo, whoever, y'all had great teams, okay? We ain't talking about great teams. We're talking about greatest player. You see what that say, right?
That's right.
You see what that say? That mean I had to do something in 4 years to do that. And I ain't even mean to do that.
Yeah.
And on top of that, there's another one in the high school with mother and son. We are the only mother and son ever to do that. So why wouldn't I say I'm the greatest?
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm not trying to be cocky. I'm just, men and women lie, numbers don't. Even though I don't own the scoring title no more, one of my young brothers, Aggie, he holds it now. But people got to remember, I did that without any coaching until I got Atari in my life.
Yeah, I was gonna probably put some words in your mouth. You did it without even trying.
Yeah, I wouldn't listen. Even though I say I'm the greatest at these things, I'm only great because of those people that came before me. Because no matter if they put a ball in my hand or they didn't, they showed me what it was supposed to be. While they was on the court, I was under the bleachers, looking, playing, acting like I was them. So I would never disrespect those that came before me. And for me to even say I'm the greatest of all time, that would be disrespectful to the generations coming after me, because then that neglects anything that they do and say that they can't be or you won't be. I want every record that I've ever done, I want it to be broken, but you're going to have to shoot real high. Yes. You're going to have to shoot real high. But that's it, man.
Totally. A couple more and I'll leave you alone, man. What does Willie Grave mean to you, man?
King of oneself. He was, is, and always will be my only role model. The only person that I put close to him is LeBron James. But Willie Graves was my everything. And matter of fact, I got to even bring this up because this might even, for those that's watching and those that don't understand what this means to me, okay? This was the football that was placed in his casket.
Yeah.
On the day that he we put him away. It still got the writings on it. Everybody's saying goodbye, Will, R.I.P. You see this football, man? This football is over 20 years old.
Mm-hmm.
That's what that means to me. It's legacy, it's loyalty. Like, he the one who taught me how to be the smallest thing out there, but got the biggest heart. You ain't really gotta talk with your mouth. Let your actions speak. Let your intelligence speak. He was the one who really, where everybody shunned me or pushed me aside, he was the one who pulled me aside, put sneakers on my feet, taught me how to walk, how to talk, how to be a young man, you know, and to his family, you know, they still show love to me, you know. That 3 is always with me. It's tatted on my arm. Mm-hmm. I got Will tatted on me all through my body. So, you know, it's that way. It's that way. And it's gonna always be that way.
Nah, I appreciate you sharing that, man. What would your grandmother say about you now, man?
Well done, son. Well done. Well done. I'm proud of the man that you become. She said it already before she passed. It was just, you know, like I said, I wish I could have did a little bit more to position my family a lot better than where they are now. You know what I mean? Like, my goal is I know my grandmother's goal was to always keep the family together. And she was the glue that did that. And, you know, when she left, I knew she was kind of telling me, like, you know, it's your time now, right? So, you know, I know that she's looking down on me proud, but she's also telling me, hey, baby, what you gonna do next? Because that's all Granny said, what you gonna do next? So what you gonna do about that? Mm-hmm. You know, so my grandmother always taught me, if it don't challenge you, it ain't gonna change you. So I hear her voice every single day. Baby, what you gonna do? How you gonna do it? So that's what keeps me going, is her voice in my head. And, you know, when I get home, you know, up top home, when I get home, I know that she'll be at them gates saying, well done, son, well done.
Yeah. And one last one, man. I know you play basketball just to play, but in your prime, in y'all's prime, who win a one-on-one? You, your Uncle Mike, your Uncle Terry, your mom. You play. Who comes out of?
I know for sure I'm trash compared to all three of them. So listen, I got my Dukes books and everything right here. My Dukes was,
yeah, I heard she was for real, man.
Listen, first lady to dunk. Mm-hmm. First lady to dunk. My Dukes was 6 foot dunking.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like 43 a night. Like, Mom Dukes. Listen, Belva May had to work real hard to shatter my mom's record. Mm-hmm. And when I tell you, looking at these articles, man, I ain't know my mother had it like that. Yeah. Like, she was doing like numbers. So I would say she go first. I know my uncle's going, but listen, when it comes to the males, Uncle Mike is the man. Mm-hmm. Uncle Mike is the man. Uncle T is the man. You know what I mean? When I talk about father, he's the best father I've ever seen in this world. Mm-hmm. Flaws and all. Yeah. Uncle Mike, the best at when they talk about Michael Jordan, the only Michael I know and respect in that nature is Mike Boyd. Mm-hmm. Then there's Allen Iverson. I'm not a Jordan guy. Like,
nah, that's cool, man. Nah, honestly, Cory, man, this has been great, man. Like I said, just even spending some time with you, man. I've been a fan of yours from afar, like so many other people, man. But to actually just hear you and just share some stuff you probably have never shared, or even just just open up a little bit, man. Like I said, I'm just so taken back, man. Like, you know, from Orange to South Carolina and back again, or what you hold in what you hold and allowed you to see the world. You know what I mean? As far as it blessed you, it allowed you to see the world through the highs, the lows, the ups and the downs, man. You're just a testament to us Orange boys, man. And like I said, I'm very proud of you. Like I said, just like I said from afar, and what you got going on, even with the kids that you continue to work with and everything else too, man. And just sharing your story and continuing this journey, man. Like I said, you've definitely been the author of your own book. It's been a lot of chapters, but I look forward to how many more chapters you got left, man, because this is definitely beyond a New York bestseller, man. Well,
Appreciate
nah,
it.
so I appreciate the time and everything, man. You just taking to spend with me, man. I really appreciate it, man. Like from the bottom of my heart, thank you.
Man, like I told you before, thank you, brother. This was well needed. You're gonna open up a lot of memories, a lot of the closed doors, man, for a lot of people that need this, man.
Yeah.
Your platform is great, brother. You inspiring me to talk a little bit more, because after I review this myself, I may be calling on you for some tips to how to get my thing going. Maybe I can interview you in the same
I,
respect.
yeah, it's cool, man. I'm just freestyling this and figuring it out, man. So it's all good. Not a problem, man. But like I said, thank you.
No problem, brother. You make it look flawless, man. God bless you along this journey, brother.
Back at you, man. And obviously, a small world, one way or another. We'll be in contact. Don't
Yes,
hesitate.
sir.
All
All
right.
right.
Talk to you,
All
man.
right.
Yeah, good stuff. Good stuff. Like I said, just obviously hearing about him, got to know about him a little bit today, what have you here, man. Like I said, great man, great man. Just look forward to what's in the future and what's to come. I'm just gonna slide on that. So with that being said, I put my hand over my heart. That means I feel you. Yeah.